Hey everybody, Sean here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Dragon Ball The Breakers, going for a real time machine, which is to escape a game using the Super Time Machine, and the Invaluable Friends achievement, which is to escape a game using the Super Time Machine without anyone dying. Both of these are going to be done in an online game from the Survivor side, so make sure you set that as your role. I'm going to highly recommend you boost this one, as trying to get this done legit without anyone dying is going to be quite difficult, so make sure you keep that in mind. So, best case scenario is you can have a friend or boosting partner roll the raider and just have them feed you the game, and that way everyone on the survivor side should be good for the achievement, as we don't have to worry about the raider trying to kill anyone. Anyways, in order to repair the super time machine, what you have to do along with the other survivors is you need to make sure everyone finds and sets all 5 power keys in each one of the 5 sectors. So basically, the easiest way to do this is to make sure you try to find a power key radar as early as you can. Once you have one of these, all you have to do is just make sure you hold right bumper and then hit B to use the radar. It should show you the location of the power keys if it is within your immediate vicinity. Just make sure you run around the map, and then once you notice one pop up on the radar, make sure you head in that direction and then pull it out of its appropriate item box. Once you find a power key, make sure you look in the same sector for an orange beacon and just follow it until you get to its location. Once you are there, just hold the Y button to set the power key. Once you finally finish filling out that progress bar, you should have that key set for that sector, and then you should have that sector completed, so you can move on to the next one to look for the next power key to slot for that sector. And then once you and the rest of the team fill out all 5 sectors, you should get the super time machine to appear. So, the more people playing the objective and helping out, the better, obviously, and hopefully everyone can find a power key radar early on. That way, no one has any trouble trying to locate them. But nonetheless, once you get all 5 sectors done with everyone, you should be good for the super time machine spawn. Do keep in mind, once someone finds a power key, anyone can slot it in that area, as the inventory of the keys is going to be shared among the group, so you don't have to worry about someone trying to bring a key to a specific beacon, for example. So if 2 people are working on a sector and one person finds a key, the other person can go for the beacon if they are in that same sector, and then all you have to do is just make sure you slot all 5 keys in all 5 sectors, and that should complete that step. Now, if you're doing this in a legit game and the raider happens to blow up a sector, you can ignore that sector in terms of trying to find its key and trying to slot it. So make sure you do keep that in mind. You only need to make sure you find the keys and then slot them in the sectors that are going to be available in the game. So if any sectors get whittled down, you can ignore those, thankfully. So this is going to require quite a bit of teamwork, whether you are doing this in a boosting game or a legitimate game. Do keep in mind, if you are doing this in a legitimate game, it's going to be quite difficult to try to get all 5 keys without anyone dying, making that achievement rather difficult. So once you and your teammates have collectively found all of the keys and have slotted them in their appropriate slots, which should complete their respective sectors, you are going to get the notification that the super time machine has appeared in Sector X. Sector X is always going to be the sector that's going to be directly in the middle of the map. It's always going to be the one that doesn't have a power key nor a key slot. In case you don't know how to read the map, it's also going to be the sector with the giant machine directly above it. So if you get lost, just make sure you look up at the sky, look for the giant machine, and then follow it down. Directly in the middle of Sector X is going to be this platform where the final battle is supposed to take place. The super time machine is going to be located on this platform. Make sure you go up to it and then hold the Y button to initiate the startup sequence. The more people here holding the Y button directly next to it is going to speed up the process, so make sure you try to get as many people as you can over here to help. What's also going to determine the speed of the startup sequence is going to be the number of power keys that you slotted, so make sure you try to get all 5 in. But of course, if you are doing this in a legitimate game, you are going to have situations where you only have a few of them slotted, so just make sure you try to take advantage of however many you put in. Also, if you happen to be doing this in a legitimate game, as you can see, trying to do the startup sequence is going to make everyone here quite vulnerable to the raider. So this is going to be the part where it's going to be the most difficult to stay alive. Hopefully you have someone who can keep the raider off of the startup sequence. But nonetheless, once you do manage to finally get the startup sequence completed and the super time machine activated, you should win the game. You're going to get this cutscene where you defeat the raider by activating the super time machine, so make sure you enjoy that. Once that's over and you finally hit up the victory screen at the results, you should be good for the achievement for escaping via Super Time Machine. That one's going to be a real time machine for 15 gamer score, which is going to be the easier of the two. And if you happen to luck out and then have all 7 survivors on your team survive until you escape, you should also be good for Invaluable Friends for another 30 gamer score. So that's going to be those 2 achievements, and that's all there is to it.